Hi everybody, Heather Coleman here with our 3-card heads up for the week of June 26th through, this is why I have to write everything down, June 26th through July 2nd, 2023. This week I'm going to show you the cards and give you a little time to go inward, whatever your process is, connect with your own intuition to see which card or cards you most connect with. So here is card number one. Card number one. Here is card number two. Card number two. Here's card number three. And I want to talk briefly about that process because sometimes this question does come up. People ask me this. How can I tell if a card is for me? Well, the first thing I always say is don't overthink it. If you feel drawn to something, the chances are you are hearing or sensing or feeling your intuition properly and accurately. But here are some things to watch for, but keep in mind everybody is different. Here are some things that I often notice when I am drawn to a card. Like let's say over a Facebook post or YouTube video. A lot of times if I just, the post will just come right across my vision. There will be 4 images and right away I will hear the word 3, for example, in my mind. I'm like, oh, card number 3 is for me. I'll just hear the number more than once in my mind. So that could very well happen for you. The fact that you look at the title of this video, you know there's 3 cards. It may possibly happen for you that right away you hear 1 or 2, so you know which of those cards you're most drawn to. The process can also work trust in the process. That as I hold the cards up, you may notice another thing that I sometimes get, which is you'll sort of see a stronger glow around one card or even 2 of them than around the others. Finally, I like to tell people to watch for the tug of the gut because I think this happens for a lot of people. I know it does for me. I'll just feel a little warm, sort of, and it's not unpleasant at all, just a gentle tug from the solar plexus, from the gut, when the right card or cards is being brought. So we'll try that process one more time before I show you the cards and give you the messages. So tune into yourself, tune into your intuition, watch for any signs that would tell you which card or cards is meant strongly for you this week. Don't forget to stay hydrated. So here is card number 1. Just notice what you see, sense, hear, feel. Here is card number 2. And here is card number 3. And the last thing I want to say before we get into the messages is that there may be weeks that you are drawn, say, most strongly to one card, a little bit to another card, or equally to 2 cards, not at all to 1, or equally to all 3 cards. Notice those things because the cards will have layered messages. They, for some of you, will unfold as a story beginning to end. For others out there, the cards, it may just be that one card has a strong reading for you primarily over the others. So without any further ado, let's see what we've got on card number 1 here. Card number 1 with our author, Radleigh Valentine. A lot of times people ask this. So this is the Angel Answers Oracle deck by Radleigh Valentine. That's our author. Card number 1 is labeled Trust. I love this with the shirt that I'm wearing for this week's reading, Trust the Process, or Trust in the Process. You want to hear what's interesting about this? I wore this shirt to a dance, and maybe because I run in so many circles of people that are aware of manifestation and the metaphysical and the process of the law of attraction and people that are just into these ways of thinking, most people I know will say things like, okay, I've got to trust in the process. They know what this means. Most people just automatically know what this would mean. Well, I went to this dance and I had 2 people say, what's the process? And I'm over there like, how do I answer that? So another thing I've noticed is that the universe is always challenging us to ask ourselves the right questions, meaning that meeting someone, even if they're not a psychic medium, if you really tune in and pay attention, people will ask you questions that the universe is guiding you to ask yourself. So that is the message with card number 1. Trust in the process. 2 people asked me, what's the process? Card number 1, people, what is your process? What is your process? So several messages with card number 1. If you cannot today answer that question I just asked you, what's your process? It's time to do some inner work, maybe do some meditation, maybe some journaling, so that you can get clear on what your process is. What's your first emotion that you experience when you are upset, let's say, or a situation doesn't go as you're hoping, or someone hurts your feelings? What is the first emotion that you feel? So what is the process? What is your emotional process? Now you might be wondering, how is this all connected to this message of trust? Because this card is called trust. Trust begins with self-trust. So if you have trouble trusting people, the chances are you may be struggling with trusting yourself. If you struggle with trusting yourself, you may indeed have trouble trusting in the process. So begin with your own process, become aware of your process, work on awareness of your thoughts and feelings, and once we do that work on our own process, we can talk a little bit more, and we will now, about the manifestation process. When we are completely in alignment with the universe, manifestation flows effortlessly. Now, the one part of this process that I really like to talk about is realism based on time. What I mean to say by this is you'll hear so many people that are like manifestation experts, motivational speakers say, look, you can truly manifest the life you want. What I want to add to that, because I think this is one thing that isn't always well understood, you have to give time. In other words, you certainly can manifest your dream job, your dream home, your dream life partner, your dream fill in the blank group of friends. Just keep in mind that some of the bigger things are going to take earth time. Some manifestation is so incredibly fast that it happens just like that. That's when you're in alignment and flow. Some of the bigger things may take time, and this doesn't mean that your manifestation work is off. When you are truly co-creating, the universe is always giving you signs and signals of what you can manifest now very quickly. So trust in the universe to guide you, and watch for the signs the universe is giving you of what you can realistically manifest in a day, a week, a month, a year. When we get further out than a year, a lot of times it is in our best interest to let go of timing and just say, I really want this to happen, but I'm going to let the universe and the angels help determine how long. And question that I had in my mind was just answered, because I drew a card, a 4th card that I was guided to draw, that is called, I'm going to show this to you now, a year from now. And that is the meaning of that card. Any manifestation that will take more than 1 year, and you probably know what that is if you really ask yourself, let go of it and just make a habit of saying to yourself, to the universe, to the angels, look, I really do want to see this happen. And I know this may take longer than 1 year. I'm going to try to trust that you're helping me. You want to say, universe, angels, spirit guides, I do trust that you are helping me to make this happen as fast as we can. And when I say as fast as possible, this is the part of this they're showing me in big highlighter. They even want me to do this. They're highlighting. It's like I can see highlighted text above my forehead when I look into the camera. highest and best good. So when we do our manifestation work, and part of that process of trust that we're looking at with card number 1 is we want to say, hey, this thing that I want to manifest, this way that I want to feel, this new car that I want, this dream romantic partner that I want to meet, fill in the blank, whatever it is, I would like this to happen as quickly as possible, with the caveat, as fast as possible, in a way that is in my best and highest good and those connected to me. And the reason that second part is so important is that when we are truly in alignment and flow with what is right and good for us, we are a positive influence on anyone that comes into contact with us. So that's why we want to add that in. We want to say, I want to manifest as quickly as possible what is in my best and highest good and those connected to me. All right, so we want to, and then trust in that process. Woohoo! So moving on to card number 2. Were you drawn to card number 2? If so, I love this message. Don't stop. So for some of you right away, this is going to piggyback on that message about trusting in the process of manifestation and co-creation. Don't stop setting your intentions. If there are any of you listening who, I just looked at the timing and it was 11:22. Thank you, angels. If there are any of you listening this week who may be sitting there feeling like, oh my God, my manifestation work is just taking forever. And I can relate to this because it's exactly where I've been. Trust, again, that's going to piggyback on card number 1. And the key is just don't stop. Have you ever noticed that kids, when they really, really want something, they will ask over and over and over, Mom, I really need a new bike. Dad, can I have that new video game? Hey, can I get that? Can we do this? Can I have it? Can I have it? Over and over and over, they just keep doing it. Maybe they drive us crazy, but I've got good news. As an adult, you need to be more like a kid. Keep asking, keep saying, universe, whatever it is you want. I want a great romantic partner. Universe dude, like, I sometimes call the universe dude. I need a better car, folks. Like, universe, I want this. Will you help me do this? A month later, I don't have it yet. Hey, universe, did you forget? The universe never forgets, but you know how kids are. Hey, universe, I really would like to find a good romantic partner. Universe, I really need a new car. Universe, I'm hoping to redo this room in my house. I need the money for it. So you ask over and over, right? So that's the key, is don't stop setting your goals, and don't lose faith just because it's taking forever and a day. Sometimes it feels like it's taking forever and a day. Sometimes that's the test of faith, and or it could be that you just don't have people around you that are particularly cooperative. Let's be honest. Sometimes we don't, and a lot of times that's our journey. And we have to keep going and don't stop. Despite adversity, sometimes that is the journey that our soul has plotted, card number 2, people. So let's say you're only drawn to card number 2. That is the message. Don't stop. You know what's right for yourself. Don't let adversity drown out your inner voice, and don't let naysayers get you doubting yourself. Don't stop. Okay. Get that Journey song just popped into my head. Don't stop believing. All right, let's move on to card number 3. Now, for those of you that are drawn to all 3 cards, taking action. I love this. Taking action can look like different than your ultimate manifestation goals. This is something that Gabrielle Bernstein has talked a lot about, and I want to talk a bit about this right now. And I'm going to give you some examples. So let's say you want a new car, and at the moment you don't have the money. How can you take steps toward manifesting? There are the obvious goals, such as, well, I'm going to need this much for down payment or this much for a monthly payment. I've got to start putting some money aside. I'm going to start putting this much aside every month, for example. So, of course, there are those practical goals in terms of taking action. But there's more than that. Because one problem with being an adult is money can drive us crazy, and we can get way too obsessed with it. And I don't mean obsessed with attaining more, but just getting stressed and feeling restricted by money. That's when we've lost our locus of control and our source of personal power. So we want to be more like a kid. Kids don't really think too much about how much this is going to cost or how much that's going to cost. So here's that message again of being like a kid. Taking action, let's say you want a new car. Maybe you don't have the money today to just write a check for this car, but who cares? What would a kid do? They'd still play with it. So go to the dealership, ask questions about that car if there's a certain kind you want, test drive it, learn. Like attracts like. So we're talking about the law of attraction. So how about this? Would you believe me if I told you that if you go to that dealership and just test drive that car, you are going to pull that car to you like a magnet, and that your finances will adjust? And it might be gradual just to bring that car into your life, because kids get what they want, or at least some of what they want, because they ask, and then they'll make it happen themselves. They'll get small jobs. They'll find ways. My son, a little while back, had a hole in his bike tire. We asked someone to help fix it. They never did. They ended up going out of town. He went a YouTube video. He looked it up. All he did was ask his grandfather to buy a few parts at Home Depot, and he did it himself. It was a DIY moment. He's 13 years old. So taking action. Sometimes we don't realize that there are steps we can take to manifesting what we want, and sometimes they are steps towards something. I'm going to share one more example with you about that. Over the pandemic, when there was no in-person anything, swing dancing wasn't happening, and as a lot of you know, I'm an avid swing dancer, and so I was watching all these YouTube videos of flash mob swing dancing videos over YouTube. And I kept saying, I want to be in one of those. Oh, I want to be in a flash mob. Oh, I want to be in a flash mob so badly. Now, when I first started watching these videos, initially, I thought, well, I'd probably have to be out of town for that to happen, because we've never had anything like this locally. And I thought, well, I'd probably have to be traveling or find the right group of people and join, that kind of thing. Sometimes we are so caught up in how we think something should manifest that we don't see what's right in front of us. So here's what happened. And again, this is part of the process, doing what kids do. I went to a dance, and I just, talking to fellow dancers, said, wouldn't it be amazing if we had a flash mob? Wouldn't it be cool if we had a flash mob? And people were like, yeah. And finally what happened is someone said to me, well, we would need someone to organize it. That's what we would need. That's when it clicked. And this is often where Gabrielle Bernstein will say, be the miracle. I'm like, I'll organize it. I'm like, wait, that's what we need. I don't see anyone else feeling called to do that, but I could do that. I know enough people. I know how to communicate well with people. I know how to bring people together. So I said, okay, I'm going to take action to manifest my dreams. I'm not going to wait around for someone else to do it. And I'm going to make this happen. So card number 3, people. How can you take action to manifest what you want? Those early steps for you may look different from the way you're thinking it's supposed to happen. So let go of the how, focus on the what, and listen, watch, and learn from the signs that the universe is giving you, because the universe is always giving you signs. From there, we are going to wrap it up here for this week. Thank you so much for being here with me. Quick recap of the cards. Card number 1 is trust. Trust in your process. Trust in the manifestation process with the universe. Card number 2, don't stop setting your intentions, setting your goals, even if your manifestation work is taking time. It's a test of faith. Don't stop. Card number 3, take action. Get clear on what action steps you can take today to achieve your goals and to make your dreams come true. So everybody, thank you so much for listening and being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Namaste.